Welcome to our Arctic Expedition boot talk. Very important that you have the right boots with you while you're on your expedition with us. There's a number of reasons for this. One, you're going to be wearing the boots every single day. You're going to be wearing the boots in the snowshoes and you're going to be wearing them in your skis. The skis we use have a special binding that will accommodate your boot. This gives many advantages. One, you know your boot, you know they're going to fit, but also it means that there's a great reduction in blistering, which is very, very important. We have a selection of boots here, and we're going to take a look at some boots that are not suitable and others that are suitable. It means then that you can have a look at your boots and evaluate them. It also means that if you do need to buy them, hopefully you don't, but if you do need to buy boots, you're going to be armed with the information that you need when you go into a shop so that you can choose the correct type of boots. So first of all, looking at our first row of boots here, and if we look at these black ones here in front of me, first of all, just picking it up, it's a very light boot. We can feel it's light. Pinching the fabric, we can feel a lot of give, all right? And that means there's very little insulation in this boot. We want warmth, we want warm feet. So first barrier is going to be the boot and giving us plenty of insulation in the boot. And this boot is just not doing it for us. Another reason we don't like this boot, you can see this one has loads of little ventilation holes. There's also a lot of stitching all over here, all stitching. The problem with that is that snow is going to sit on these boots out there. Because there's so little insulation in them, the heat is going to come off your feet and it's going to melt that snow. That'll turn it into water, and then that water penetrates all these little holes and then it's going to freeze. So you're going to be walking around with ice blocks on your feet. So absolutely a no-no. So looking at the other boots in that summer boot range as well, very similar again, all very light, very little insulation. Big holes in this one's for the supports on them, but still just not suitable. This one looks like it's a bit better, but again, we pick it up and pinch that fabric. There's just too much give and a lot of stitching, actually a lot of unnecessary stitching in this boot as well. So two things we're looking for there. One, insulation. We want to know there's good insulation in the boot, and we want minimal stitching. Next up are our 3-season boots, and we have some here in front of us. So these are your typical boots that you're going to use nearly all year round in Ireland. So having a look at the mindle here on the end, just by picking it up we can feel it's a heavier boot. So that means we're going to get more boot for our money, which means in this one we're getting more insulation. We can feel it around the cuffs, we can feel just by pinching there's more there. Okay, this one a little downfall on this one, there's a bit of excess stitching, but it is made of nubuck. Nubuck is like a brushed leather, and so the great thing about nubuck, it's designed for snow, and the beauty of nubuck is that snow will not stick to it as easily. It'll stick to fabric or to leather boots. Moving up the way, we have a fully leather boot. You can see on this has minimal stitching, right? It's only where it's necessary. You can treat that leather with a wax, which is great. Light-ish, not as much insulation in this boot, but if you had a decent pair of socks, definitely this would be suitable. It is a budget brand, it's not going to last as long as some of the other brands, but it's still going to be suitable for what you want to do out there. And then moving up to this one, the Scarpa, a brilliant 3-season boot. It's going to do so much for you here and in the Arctic. You can see, again, minimal stitching. We've got this lovely rubber rand running all the way around, which gives loads of protection to the fabric. Minimal stitching, as I said, and made out of nubuck. Plenty of insulation, and so again, decent pair of socks. You're going to be as toasty as possible with this boot. So our next category here are winter boots. Some of these are perfect, some of them are not, and we want to look at these in a bit of detail to see which will work for you. First off, we have a lightweight alpine mountaineering boot. Ticking all the boxes, nice rubber rand, nubuck, minimal stitching, and they have a reasonable amount of insulation. They're a nice, very comfortable boot, suitable for use in Ireland as well. So a perfect boot. That's the type of boot that is ideal for what we want out there in the Arctic. Next up is a full mountaineering boot, and this is not suitable. Even though it has this lovely rubber rand, it has nubuck, you can see the nubuck runs through the tongue, everything, there's minimal stitching, it is still not suitable. And the reason being is that there is no flex in the sole. The sole of your boot has to flex. If I compare it to this one, the Alpine mountaineering one, there's a bit of flex, and that is very important for us as we ski. If we were to look at a summer boot, you can see that these almost fold. Too much flex. Don't want to be crushing our toes in there. And then that lovely Scarpa 3-season boot that we said is ideal. It has a bit of flex, but not too much, and that's ideal. So either that 3-season with just a little bit of flex, or the Alpine mountaineering boot with just a bit of flex, perfect. But budget brands, this is something you'll find a lot of budget brands, you do get a lot of flex in them. They don't have that support in the sole. Not ideal, but it will be fine if you have them. It will work. But again, just back to this boot, which is not suitable. If any of you have done any high peaks in the Himalayas and bought boots for it, they're not going to work. One final boot that's definitely not going to work is the snow boots, right? And these snow boots, super warm, waterproof, everything, but they're useless because our feet move around inside of these. And if your feet move around in a boot, you are going to injure yourself within hours of arriving in the Arctic. You're going to end up twisting an ankle or worse out on the ice. So just to summarize all those things, what we're looking for a boot with minimal stitching, minimal fabric. We're looking for a leather or nubuck boot and some flex in the sole.